Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So any questions so far before we'll continue this one? Question or clarification? No question? So this is where we've stopped yesterday. So as far as I can recall, we were able to finish up to number 7. Am I right? To those who are here yesterday, where did we stop or what numbers we have finished? Until number 5. So we wasn't able to continue number 6 and 7. All right, so for the number 5, number 5. All right, so let me just show to you the exercise number 5. All right, so in here, in the difference between volts 1 and volts 2 is less than 0.001, set the variable of approx to 0. Else calculate approx as volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. Okay, so in here, actually, you don't need to analyze this one. You know, all you do is follow what will happen if this one is true, and what will happen if this one is false. So if it's true, then this will give us a value of 0. Okay, if this is false, then just follow this formula. Okay, volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. So in here, of course, we have two conditions. So this is the true statement or true condition. And we have here the false uh, argument or false statement. Okay, so as usual, we've declared two variables since we have two inputs with this one. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then we pass the values of text box 1 and 2 to the its corresponding variables. So volts 1 and volts 2. And then in here, this is now where the computation comes in play. So we have here volts 1 minus volts 2. So where that one came from? So it came from here. So it says here the difference between volts 1 and volt 2. So volts 1 minus volts 2 is less than 0.001. Then text box that 3 that text is equal to 0. Why is it 0.001? This one should be 0. And this is the 0.001. 001. 001 only. There you go. Okay. So if this is true, then it says here that we should set the variable approx to 0. Okay. So approx is just another text box. Okay. So I didn't declare approx as another integer or decimal anymore since that is our output. Okay. So that is our text box 3 that text. All right. So can you guys follow so far? Regarding with our first condition.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I really hope that yesterday you were able to finish already the 3 hour and 45-minute video. Okay, because if you really haven't started watching that one yet, so you're going to have a hard time in understanding the following topics, especially this one. Okay, so this is true statement. And then the second one, else calculate the prox as volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. Okay, so just simply use this formula, volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. So in here we have volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. Okay, so all of those values will go to our text box 3 that text. So again, we are passing the value of the right side to the left side variable or left side component. Okay, so if it's true, it will give us a result of 0. If it's false, then this will be computed. Okay, so let me just show you guys how this one works. So we have here, let's say, 1 minus 1. Okay, so 1 minus 1 is 0. So that one is lesser than 0.001. So this one is true, so it will give us 0. However, if we have 2 minus 1, so 2 minus 1 is 1, right? So 1 is already higher than 0.001. Thus, will make this one a false condition. So it will lead us to false statement, which is volts 1 minus volts 2 divided by 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So we are expecting a result of 0.5. So there you go. Okay. So if we have 5 minus 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so we're expecting a result of 2. All right. So are we clear so far? Were you guys able to follow? Okay, so all you need to do, okay, is know the syntax, the correct syntax, especially for the formulas. Okay, and just don't get confused on how to pass the values of your variables, the values of your components, etc. So it's always from right to left. Okay. All right, so that's it for the exercise number 5. The next one is number 6. So it says here, if the product between temp 1 and temp 2 exceeds 2.5 degrees, calculate error as temp 1 minus temp 2 times factor. All right, so in here, we are only showing the result of a true statement or true condition. Okay, so if it's false, then we will do nothing. All right. So let me just open my exercise number 6. All right. So in here we have two inputs, okay, temp 1 and temp 2. And if the result exceeds 2.5, okay, so it will give us a calculation error as temp 1 minus temp 2 times factor. So factor right here is the value of your temp 1 and temp 2. All right, so let's say 2 times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, so it's more than 2.5 degrees or 2.5. Okay, so this is true. So it will give us a computation of temp 1 minus temp 2. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1 times a factor, which is 2 times 3. So 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. So we are expecting a result of negative 6. So there you go. Okay. However, if this is not more than 2.5, let's say 1 and 1, so 1 and 1, 1 times 1 is not more than 2.5. So this will do nothing, okay, or it will give you a result of 0. All right. So let me just show to you guys the code. So this is the true statement, okay, wherein we'll do the computation if this is true, okay, if it exceeds 2.5. However, if it's false, then I'll just display a result of 0. Yeah, or you can just simply remove this one. Okay. In that case, nothing will show. So are we clear so far regarding with exercise number 6? Hello? Can you guys follow? So just let me know if you guys cannot follow so that we can discuss it again. Hello? Are you guys still there?
Yes, sir. Still here.
Yes, sir.
So, ang hirap mag-online class. I cannot see your faces, guys. So I'm not really sure if you guys are really there. So your response is really, really important. Okay. All right. So moving on with number 7. So it says here if x is greater than y and z is less than 20, display the value of num using message box. So again, in here, it is only telling us to show the true statement or the true results. If this is false, nothing will happen. Okay, because he didn't say anything. What will happen if we have a false condition? So in here for the number 7, all right. So if x is greater than y, so we have this one right here. Okay, and z is less than 20, and we have it right here. Z is less than 20. Is less than 20. And let me just change this one into an. Okay, so we have two conditions. If this is true, okay, whatever is our input in our num will be displayed onto the message box. Okay, so the value of num is a manual input. Okay, so it will be coming from us. So we have a total of 3 inputs and then 1 output only. All right. So let me just show you guys the code. So in here we have, of course, two conditions. So if x is greater than y and z is less than 20, then we'll display whatever is the value of that num. So num is text box for the text. That's one. Okay, text box for text one, text box two, text box, yeah. Okay, and if it's false, then I've just put a message in here wherein the condition were not met. Simple as that. Okay, so let me just show to you guys how this one works. So again, if this is true, then it will display the value of num. So 5 is greater than 3, and 3 is less than 20. So let's say this is true, okay? So we really made sure that this one is true. So we'll just put random number here, and whatever is the value here will be displayed on the message box. So it's now 59. However, if this is false, let's say 5 is greater than 6, wherein this one is already false, even though this one is true, 3 is less than 20, it will give us the false statement. So the condition were not met. Why? Because if you're going to use the word and, okay, on the conditions, both of those conditions must be true for you to be able to say that the entire statement is true. If one of those were false, then the entire statement is already false. So it will lead to the false statement wherein the condition were not met. Okay, so it is a vice versa. Let's say 5 is greater than 3, but in here, let's say 25 is less than 20, wherein the second condition is already false. So it will still give us the condition were not met. Okay, so are we clear so far? Were you guys able to follow this one? Okay, good for you, Mr. Flores. How about the others?
Yes, sir.
All right, so thank you for your response. I really appreciate it. All right, so moving on with the sample problem number 7. Do I have this one? Okay, let me just check. Sample problem number 7. All right, so I have it. Okay, so in here it says that write a program that allows the user to input an integer. So this is one thing that you need to take note. You can only input integer, okay, not a decimal. So if the value is greater than or equal to 0, so print the word positive. So in here, we have a condition wherein 0 is considered positive. So 0 and above is considered positive. Okay. Otherwise, it is a negative number. So print the word negative. So a negative 1 and below, or below 0, is already negative. Okay? So in here, what I did is I actually created 3 conditions. Okay, I actually, 2 only to be exact. Okay, so here's the first condition. So if x is greater than or equal to 1, okay, then it will give us the result of positive. Okay, so 1 and above. And then if we have here x is less than or equal to negative 1, then it will display negative. So as you guys can see, I didn't include the 0 because in reality, or in some cases, it's still 50-50, that's still sure. For some mathematician, 0 is positive, but for some, 0 is neither positive nor negative. That is why I've included another condition in here, wherein if it doesn't fall on those 2 conditions, okay, then that one is not positive nor negative, wherein 0 is not positive or negative. Okay, so let me just show you guys how this one works. So if it's 1, of course, it will give us positive. And if it's negative 1, it will give us negative. Okay. And if it's 0, then it will display it is not positive nor negative. Okay. Well, if you're going to follow the this one example itself, then just change this one into greater than or equal to 0. Then you can just simply remove this one. Right? X is e. What is the error? Negative 1. Then message box. And if else. In that one. Okay, so notice with this one, oops, we are having an error since this is not the correct format. So if you're going to write another condition, okay, beside the, let's say this is already your second condition. So this one must be else if, okay? And then if we have else if, the last one will be else. So that regardless of what is the result, let's say it is not true on the first condition and it is still not true on the second condition, then it will fall on our third condition. We're in else, so just display here the commands that you wanted to be executed. Okay, so that is why you have to remove that one. If you only have 2 conditions, so the true condition and then the false condition. Okay, so in this case, 0 now, oops. 0 now is positive, okay, and above, of course. And negative 1 now is false. I mean negative, not false. All right. So are we clear so far regarding with your sample problem number 7?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so again, if you guys have a question, so feel free to ask me anytime. All right, so moving on with sample problem number 8. So in here, you've been hired as a programmer by SFT. So SFT is a Sending Field Telecom. So it is a mobile telecommunication company. So you are to write a program that will ask the user to input the number of text messages incurred by a SFT cell phone subscriber. So text messaging charge is computed based on the number of text messages. And charge is 0 for the first 100 messages. And text messages beyond that are charged by 50 centavos per message. So the program should output the charge incurred. So we have here the sample interface of the sample problem number 8. And then we have here the code of this one itself. So I have already created this one on my Visual Studio. So let me just show this one to you. Stop. Number 8. All right, so I've just simply copied the same interface, just that this one has a back color. Okay, and yeah, almost the same everything. Okay, and in here we have here the code wherein if n text is greater than 100, then the bill, so bill here is the result of our text box, okay, or the value of our text box. Okay, so bill is equal to n text minus 100, so it will deduct 100 since the first 100 text messages are free. Okay, and then the remaining value of this one will be multiplied by 0.5. Okay, and then whatever is the result of this one will be displayed to the variable bill. And then what is that bill? So it's right here. Okay, so it actually you can just write here bill, but we've decided, or I've decided to put a format, okay, wherein it will give us a peso sign. So it's not just a number, but it will give us a peso sign. Okay, so if you have already watched some of the formats on our module 7, so this is one, okay, wherein you can put a currency. Okay, so since we are in the Philippines, so the currency right here is a peso. If the version of your Visual Studio is, let's say in America, then it will give you a dollar sign. If Europe, then euro, etc. Okay, and let's say if the n text is not more than 100, let's say 90, 70, 80, then it will fall on the false statement wherein bills is equal to 0, since it haven't reached the maximum count of numbers. I mean, count of messages, wherein maximum free is 100 only. Above that, so multiplied by 0.5. All right, so let me just show this one to you. Let's say we have 300 text messages already. So less than 100. So 200 times 0.5 will give us a result of 100 peso. Oops. I've accidentally clicked that one. All right. So if we have 100 right here, so 100 minus 100 is 0. So 0 times 0.5 is still 0, since the first 100 text messages are free. So if we have 50, then it will still give us a result of 0, since the first 100 is free. This is 101, then it will give us 0.5. All right. And notice this one, we have a peso sign right here because of the format currency. So are we clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how about the others? Were you guys able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Antok pa. All right. Okay, then. Okay, so let us now move on to the sample problem number 9. So in here, you were hired as a programmer by TNP, Telepono ng Pilipino. It is a phone company. So TNP employs a metering scheme in computing the telephone bill. The metering scheme is as follows. So calls made on weekday, okay, 6 a.m. to 6:59 p.m. are charged 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute. Okay, that's during the weekday. So Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. to 6:59 p.m. And then charges made at other times during a weekday. So still Monday to Friday. But in here, we are now going to start with 7 p.m. to 5:59 a.m. All right. So that will be charged at a discounted rate of 5 peso per minute. And during the weekends, so Saturday and Sunday, we have here 3 peso. So anytime on a weekend. Okay, so it will rate as 3 peso per minute. So continuation, so your job is to write a program that will ask the user to enter the following information. So first input is the date. So the use of the calendar. So we'll be able to know, is it a weekday? Is it a weekend? Okay. So in here, for us to be able to know if it's weekdays or weekend, we have a value of 1 to 7. So 1 to 5 is weekdays, and 6 and 7 is weekend. All right. And then the second condition is, of course, the time. So if it's weekdays and then if it's within the range of 6 a.m. to 6:59 p.m., then you'll pay 7.50. However, if it's not within the range of 6 o'clock to 6:59, then you'll pay 5 peso. All right, simple as that. And if it's weekend, okay, regardless of the time, so you will pay 3 pesos per minute. Okay. So integer representing duration of the call in minutes. Assume that all calls are rounded to the next minute. For example, a call lasting 2 minutes and 35 seconds is billed as a 3-minute call. Okay, so it will be rounded to the next minute. Okay, so here's the sample interface of this one. So we have the first input, wherein you're going to put a date, of course, for us to be able to know is it weekdays or weekend, and then the time. Okay, and then the duration of call. And then once you click the compute, then it will be computed. All right. So this is the sample code. So in here, we've declared 3 variables as integer, wherein this is the day for the date, and then time for the time of call, and then duration for the duration of call. Okay. So all of those 3 are integers, since we're only considering 1 to 7 for day, and then 1 to 24, okay, for the time, since we have here a 24-hour format, I guess. And we have here duration. Let's say if it's 2 minutes and 35, so just put here 3 minutes. So it's only considering a minute, okay, not a second. And pickle bill as double, since so again, if we see single, double, long, decimal, those are the data types that can accept or that can show decimal values. Like for example, right here, it can show 0.50 centavos, right? So that's why pickle bill is declared as double. Okay, so pickle bill is the total call bill. All right, and then we have this one. We have declared 3 constant variable with a constant value, wherein week regular call is 7.5, and then week discounted call is 5.0, and weekend call is 3 peso. Okay, so in here, all you do is know this function, wherein daytime picker. So this is daytime picker. Okay, uh, just that the name were modified. Okay, so daytime picker is one right here. That value, that day of week. Okay, because what we're trying to get here is the day of week. So is it 1, is it 2, is it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? And then for the time, so you have to put this one. So time, that value, that hour. Okay, or that value, that hour only, because this one is also a daytime picker. It's just that a modified name. So we could see that this is your daytime picker 1, and this is the daytime picker 2. Okay, daytime picker 1, daytime picker 2. Okay, and then lastly, we have here the text duration. Okay, wherein it will pass to the I duration. Okay, so again, this is just a modified name of this text box. So this is actually a text box. So we could say this is your text box 1. And then the last one is text box 2. Okay. So in here, we have ID 1 to 5. So this is for the weekdays, wherein we have the time span of 6 a.m. to, what is that? 6 a.m. to 6:59 p.m. Okay, or 7 p.m. Okay, and the rest is still weekday. Okay, but it's not within the range of 6 to 18. Okay, and if it can still not find on those two, okay, on those two conditions, then it will go to this condition. So pickle bill is equal to duration times weekend call. So considering that it's not weekdays anymore, then it should fall on the weekend. Okay, and then whatever is the result of those, okay, will be passed on to our pickle bill. Okay, and pickle bill is this text box 2. Okay, or the total or text total bill, that text, or this pickle bill. Actually, this is the a result of number, wherein we've just modified this one into this one. format T-call bill currency. So again, why did we do this one? Why did we format T-call bill? Because we wanted to add a peso sign or PHP. Okay, and then whatever is the result of this one, so with peso sign, and then the result will be passed to our text box to, or text total bill.text. All right. So were you guys able to follow and how this one works? Hello? Okay, so I've showed everything. Okay, so this is, so I would like you guys to make this one work. Okay, so the reason why I didn't show this one to you is I would like you guys to do this one on your own. Okay, and then figure out this one. Okay, so you should change this one into date time figure 1, date time figure 2, text box 1, text box 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I would like you guys to, just simply imitate this one or just make this one work on your own program. Okay, so this will be your assignment or practice assignment. All right. And yeah, so we'll stop here for now and we'll just continue the rest on part 2 since we don't have enough time anymore. All right, so goodbye and see you guys on part 2.